Recording in progress. All right. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Ball Player's Guide. And this is going to be, sorry to Joey's mom. This is going to be an explicit episode because we got some rants that we got to get out there. Yes, Joey.
We're not allowed to say that anymore. Raj told me that it's not cool anymore, and we need to stop saying that. So, whatever he says is law. So we have to go with what Raj says.
We can't say what anymore.
We can't apologize to my mom anymore.
All right.
So,
Ryan Strandy hates moms. Good to know. We got some rants that we got to get out of the way, and I am going to just start with a reading from the book of Dollar Slugger. I did some research this morning and I came up with a list. Um, Logan Morrison, Jake Cave, Logan Forsythe, Addison Reed, Ryan Lamar, Tyler Austin, Marwin Gonzalez, Martin Perez, Ronald Torreyes, Lamaro Vargas, Homer Bailey, Andrelton Simmons, J.A. Hab, Randy Dobnak, Matt Shoemaker, Alonso Robles, Gary Sanchez, Joe Smith, Dylan Bundy, Chris Archer, Sandy Leone, Tim Beckham, Aaron Sanchez, Chris Paddock, Tyler Bale, Joey Gallo, Christian Vasquez, Jorge Lopez, Jordan Luplow, Dylan Floro, Dallas Keuchel, Manny Margot, Stephen Okert, Anthony Desclafani, Jay Jackson, Josh Stomont, Jonah Bride, Mickey Gasper. These are players that under Derek Falvey's reign of terror, the Minnesota Twins gave a good, honest run on their major league roster. Derek Falvey is now out as general manager, president of baseball operations. Dear God, not soon enough, because some of those names are disgusting. This has been a reading from the Book of Dawson.
I think the first thing I kind of want to talk about is the timing of this is just terrible. And I need to read the text that I sent you guys when this first happened, but it was the timing makes no sense. So if you don't think, I mean, obviously him and the new poll ad didn't get along, but you let Falvey make all the trades at the deadline. You let him hire the manager and the coaching staff. You let him handle most of free agency, and then 2 weeks before spring training, this is what you do. Like that, that's like the most typical Twins thing ever. Like how do you like I don't know. That was my first thought. I mean, there's a lot more to talk about, but like the first thing is like the timing is it makes no sense. Why don't you do this after the year? I guess because Joe Pollard was in charge still, and him and Falvey got along. But now, I mean, and we'll get into that too. But the timing's terrible.
Just to, so for people that aren't aware, the Twins, with the trade deadline, traded 10 major league players in a span of 3 days, including their entire bullpen, some of which had team control for 3 plus years, right? And then you go out and you are giving players like Travis Adams and Pearson Ole a run in the bullpen. You got Alan Roden starting games in the outfield. It was a disgrace. It was disgusting. I mean, like, good guys, I'm sure. They're probably great. I don't want them playing on my Major League Baseball team. And then in the offseason, you make like no real significant signings outside of Josh Bell and I guess Victor Caratini.
Come on, don't hate on Caratini.
I
Taylor
don't hate on
Rogers.
Caratini,
That's my
but
guy.
I don't understand. Like, yeah, the timing is horrible. Like, there's nothing redeeming about it. I don't like Twins continue to twin. Joey, go. Joey, start ranting before I start ranting.
It makes me a little concerned because, from what I understand, Derek and Joe's outlook was this division is winnable. So we're gonna add a few pieces and try to be in the mix. And it kind of seems to me that Tom might think otherwise. So now I'm a little concerned for what this means for Pablo, Joe, and Byron here in the next few weeks, what we might see from that. But
I'm almost getting the vibe the other way around. Like I think, well, I know for sure Falvey didn't think they're going to compete this year, and I think that was part of the disconnect. How do you read it, Ryan? Do you think like I kind of think like Tom Pola kind of thinks that they have a chance this year?
I think Tom Pohlad is a dipshit billionaire that doesn't understand how a baseball team works because you have nothing like good on your roster right now. Like you have some pieces that are fine, but you don't have a complete baseball team. You don't have a bullpen. Like you have no depth. You have players that you're taking a flyer out on, and you're like, well, we'll see if they turn out, I guess. And then if they do, we'll just trade them at the deadline. But he has said over and over again, like I have this quote here from Gleeman article in The Athletic. This is from Tom Pohlad. We have to have a good season in 2026. Just because I say we're trying to build a team that can play a string of October seasons, that doesn't mean we're not all in on 2026. Frankly, for us to be able to build a team and build a business that can invest in a team, we have to have a strong 2026. Where is that? Like, okay, that's great. You can say all the right things. Where's the action? Like he's saying all these things and he's saying that he's all in. He's delusional because this team isn't all in. They've paid what? $2 million for a reliever. Have they done anything else in the bullpen?
traded for Eric Orzi.
Wow. Bring us to the World Series. That's great. I'm sure that's going to be enough to pass the Chicago White Sox, who keep making moves, by the way. That's really great to see. But then Gleeman goes on to say, if the Pollads were serious about putting a winning team on the field this season, they would have given the front office the means to add meaningful talent that can't be found shopping in the clearance aisle. To talk a big game about expectations and cut payroll by $30 million is detached from reality. The Twins right now have the 24th largest projected payroll after tax in Major League Baseball. They are behind the Colorado Rockies and the Sacramento Athletics. The only teams that they're ahead of are the Marlins, the Rays, the Guardians, the Nationals, the Pirates, and the White Sox. That's not a group of teams you want to be lumped in with. If you say that you want to be all in on 2026, do something about it because right now, this Twins roster is not good enough to compete in 2026. You're going to finish in last place by a lot of games, and you're going to have really, really upset Twins fans um, screaming at you. Like, do something about this. And they're like, oh, we're trying to win back the hearts and minds of Twins fans. No, you're not. You cut payroll by $30 million again. 2023, when they had the postseason win, their payroll was $160 million. It is $100 million right now. Like they're not spending money. Josh Bell is your three hitter on Fangraphs. He's a good major league player. He's not a playoff caliber three hitter. Victor Caratini should not be slotted in as your DH. This is not a competitive baseball team. And he keeps saying, we're going to have a successful 2026. No, you are not. Not with the way the team is right now.
Yeah, I think like the White Sox have kind of made some moves where I wouldn't be surprised if the Twins finish last in this division. I think it's more likely that that happens and, they finish in the top three. I mean, I think realistically, you're looking at a fourth or fifth place finish in the Central. And I think you brought up a good point, Ryan. I think it does start, although I don't think Falvey should have a job, and I think it was a little overdue. The issue is still, well, it's still ownership. Like that's like it starts there, and you have the same discussion over and over. You make the playoffs and you cut $30 million, or you win your first playoff series in 21 years, and then you cut $30 million, and like Falvey was kind of handcuffed in that way, where you do feel bad for the guy in some ways, although we might get into it a little bit, but there is obviously something lacking in their player development, and the people. And I don't know, like you kind of see things like, oh, well, they kind of drafted well, and then but then like th those players that get to the majors and they wouldn't perform, or they would for a little stretch. Like a couple perfect examples, Jose Miranda and Julian. Those are like the two. Those are the two that stick out in my mind that came up and they had success right away, and then they just fell off a cliff. Like they're just organizationally, there has to be something screwed up, whether it's yeah something in the player development or like the major league coaching staff. Like I don't know what it was, but like we can have that discussion too. Like there's not a lot of homegrown guys that you like you gotta kind of have to hit on a couple. And I don't know if they really did all, I mean they have a bunch of decent guys, but they didn't I don't know. It's
Well, and
interesting.
then part of that too is I also wrote down a second list. These are players that the Twins had that through failure to like I don't know, like evaluate their talent properly or whatever, they let go at one point, whether they're homegrown or not. CJ Cron had him in the organization, had a good year. He dipped, and he continued to have good years. Zach Littell, he was a young pitcher. They dumped him, and now he's a bona fide major league starter. Brent Rooker, enough said. Rob Refsnyder had a good year for the Twins. They got rid of him, and all he does is just hit 130 OPS pluses against lefties. That would be really, really fun to have in the Twins lineup. Lamont Wade, say what you will about him, but he was an on base machine. He plugged a hole. Twins have been notoriously awful at first base. That would have been pretty fun to see. And then just another guy I threw on there at the end, Donovan Solano, who went out and he hit well, and then they just dumped him for nothing. And again, utility guy whose at bats went to a really bad Eddie Julian or whoever, Nick Gordon. Like their talent evaluation just isn't there. But let's run out Mickey Gasper for 100 games. Let's see what he's got for us. Let's see what Jonah Bride can get for us in a trade for a nobody, whatever. Like, yeah, something's going on there where their talent evaluation is horrible and their player development just doesn't happen, like you said.
And then I guess the next point that you can talk about with Falvey was he had a couple failures at the trade deadline. I mean, you really look at, I mean, kind of went for it in 22 and it did backfire. But really, I look at 23 and 24, and I think they're in a position to at least, especially in 23. And I know they ended up winning the playoff series and all that, but I think you can look at a couple failed trade deadlines too. And I don't know, like. I don't know if I can like buy like I'm sure the poll ads maybe had a little bit of say in it, but there's no way that they had that much like I think part of that is on Felvey, at least that part of it. Like I know there's payroll constraints and maybe there are some other factors as well, but you kind of look at that for Felvey too, and you kind of start to wonder.
I was watching the Score North Twin Show, and they talked a lot about Falvey's interviews this past weekend at Twins Fest and such. And they said that he specifically, when he would talk about moves, he wouldn't say me, he would say they. So he was making it sound like all of this blow up was dumped on him by the poll ads to do. And they just said, you have to do this. And now Louis Barland, that wasn't a you have to do this type of thing for sure. But he said that he was absolutely blown away and couldn't say no to the offer. So
For Louis Varland.
yeah,
And remind me who we got for Louis Varland.
Alan Roden and
Cool.
a minor leaguer that has a ton of upside, I guess. But
Cool.
we know
Alan
how
Roden,
that goes.
blown away. Great. Awesome. Very cool. One thing with that is I think Joe Polad, who was the previous Polad in charge, is a bona fide moron who was fired by his own family. So I think we kind of have to take that into account. And now, according to the Dan Hayes article in The Athletic I read earlier today, Tom Polad is going to be more hands on. And the only note that I have on that, cool, great. Can't wait for that to happen. That's going to be a really fun period of time. It's like they don't understand like what to do. There's clear moves that you can make to make like the fans happier. Spend $10 million, $15 million on some of these middle tier free agents just to try to fill a gap, but they keep cutting payroll and getting these bottom of the bargain bin dudes. Like their bullpen right now. I don't Taylor Rogers, who fine, he's a good major league player. Justin
I
Topa,
don't I don't I think Taylor Rogers is about, I mean,
he's ready to be done.
yeah, I mean he was just okay for the Cubs
This
in the
year
second
could
half.
be
Like,
Joey. I know you don't want to hear this. Taylor Rogers this year for the Minnesota Twins could be a disaster, and he's listed as their closer. Justin Topa, Cody Funderburk, Cole Sands, Eric Orzi, Travis Adams, John Klein. You're telling me you don't have $10 million you can go out there to get a couple better bullpen arms? That's insane. That would
yeah.
regain Twins fans' trust.
Yeah, and I think like we're realistic about it. Like we're not saying like, oh, we need to get the payroll to 200 million. Like we're asking 10 to 15 more million to get to that 130 range, which is usually where they've hovered even the last couple of years, and build that bullpen. And if Tom thinks that they're going to compete this year, I mean, you got to think about their roster the last couple of years. What would you guys say the strength of those teams are? Like if you were to go bullpen, their lineup and their starting pitching between the three of those, what was their strength?
I'd say pitching as a whole,
Yep.
honestly. The whole bullpen was good. The 1 through 5 was solid. Couple dogs at the top. Couple like yeah, Simeon Woods Richardson has been very solid all the way through.
Hmm.
Um, it's just inconsistent hitting, which I think Rocco had a lot to do with that. And I think with him being gone, that because the way it seemed is a lot of guys didn't see eye to eye with Rocco, especially a guy like Royce, who
Hmm.
I think Royce could return to the Royce we saw in 23 this year with a new face and new culture.
But like if your bullpen, your pitching is probably the strength of your team last year, and I mean, you tear it apart, and it's not going to like I don't like I just don't even know how it's realistic to think that you would compete this year because that was your strength last year.
They were one of the best bullpens in baseball last year. I mean, they had dudes up and down that pen. You could turn to anyone, and it would be like an insane 7, 8, 9, right? With Jax, Duran, and Varland. Any of those dudes could be a closer for any team, pretty much. Like they got the stuff to do it, and they were doing it. They up and down year a little bit for Jax, but yeah, now you have nothing. Like I don't know if are the Twins going to have a bullpen arm with an ERA in the fours. It's not going to be 5, 6, 7, 10s. Disgusting.
My prediction is by the end of the year, Cole Sands will be the closer.
Yeah, I agree.
And I
Great.
think I think he's gonna be fine. I don't know. I was gonna get on a tangent here. I don't know if like I just hate my life so much that this is one thing that's giving me like optimism or what, but I don't just looking at the other teams in this division, like how the Tigers were successful last year and all they had was Tarek Skubal. You cannot tell me otherwise. Maybe Riley Green. Like, I don't know. I don't mind this lineup. It needs like a couple, maybe one legit DH bat. Um, maybe like a Reese Hoskins in there to DH. And then a couple more arms in the bullpen. I'm banking on a Bailey Ober bounce back. I like the rotation a lot. The I think the lineup is one piece away from being a legit lineup. And that's my opinion. And like I said, it could be just blind optimism and I'm looking to be hopeful, but I think if you make a couple more bullpen moves and sign a legit DH, I think sign a DH, trade for a couple bullpen arms. This team isn't as bad as people are saying, and that's very doable. Very doable.
It's
I'm
garbage.
really glad that you're bringing the optimism to this pod, Joe, because I just don't
I
have it today. I don't have it.
I've
It
just seen
ain't
what
happening for me.
I've just seen what the Tigers have done the last 2 years, and like I said, all they have is Tarek Skubal. He is the best pitcher in baseball, but their lineup was awful, and they still found a way to win 80 some games and make the playoffs.
I
So
think your point is like the White Sox are probably the team that got like the most help in
they're
free
the only
agency.
team. Maybe the Royals have done a couple things, but they're the only
Yeah.
team in this division that has done anything. Tigers and Guardians haven't. I don't know if the Guardians have made a single move this
No, and
offseason.
you kind of get, and it's kind of back to how I think about the Brewers. Like I feel the same way about the Guardians. Like you're gonna look down their lineup opening day and you'll be like, okay, there's like three names I haven't heard
Yeah,
of before. And they're gonna find a way. Like when they snuck into the playoffs last year, I just need to see, but like you can see like an organization like that, but, like they have like proper player development, like just like a good system in place, and I just wish the Twins could do something like they could have guys like that. Go ahead.
Joey, as we're a balls and strikes pod, and I just want to fact check Joey. The Cleveland Guardians have made a move this offseason. They signed Carter Kieboom to a minor league contract.
hmm. I remember him in 2018. Yeah,
So um, they also signed. Nope, that's it. Never mind. That's the only real move.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
But their pitching is amazing. I would love to have their development system with the Twins, but like I don't know, culture change, some big. I don't know how to word it. Big. Hmm,
Sound it
what's the
out.
word I'm looking for?
Final
I'm trying
score.
to describe Carlos Correa without directly saying his name.
Change in
Um,
like leadership,
Mm,
culture.
like personality, big personalities. There we go. That's what it is. Big personalities. I
I,
think that
I,
being out is gonna help. Um, I don't know. I like what they have. I think somebody like Reese Hoskins would be big as far as leadership, just kind of like a quiet leader that'll fight for everybody type of thing, not a guy that's going to talk to everybody all the time type of thing.
he'll punch a
Um,
bitch in the face if he needs to.
yeah, Jeff McNeil.
I do think, okay, if we're shifting to the positives real quick, I do think if the Twins, let's say we get off to like a 10-5 start to the beginning of the year, I think the vibes of this team could be at an all-time high. You get Buck Daddy doing the buck truck. You get Luke Keyshaw running around being all hot and shit. You got Matt Waller's fat ass dropping dongs. Jeffers is back there doing like
with
physics shit behind the
with
plate.
his pre trunk thighs on Ryan Jeffers,
Did
by
you
the
know
way.
Ryan Jeffers is like a nuclear physicist or something like that? Like that's what he went to college for. It's like some like smart guy stuff. You got Trevor Larnach who's been traded away, and we got Austin Martin out there with his vibes in left field just being awesome. Royce Lewis is doing his money dance. Brooks Lee figured out how to hit again. Like Joe Ryan doing his weird Joe Ryan stuff. Like this team could be fun. Like
Mhm.
if they do start winning, they could be fun. The problem is they're gonna need to throw a complete game every single time.
Yeah, Pablo and Joe are kind of. I'd be. I don't think it's crazy to say that that's like two guaranteed wins most of your trips through the rotation.
And then
So
Bailey Ober will give you a shot. Sim will give you a shot. I'm cautiously optimistic on Taj Bradley
yeah,
because I mean,
McAble's in there too.
I was just gonna say if you look at the minor league depth chart with the Twins, you've got Connor Prelip, Andrew Morris, Mick Abel, Marco Raya,
Raya.
and then Festa, probably is going to get moved to the bullpen. CJ Culpepper is going to be coming up in probably next year, who's supposed to be kind of another dude for him. Like, I don't know. I
I
don't
can
hate. I don't hate it.
see now look at where the vibes are now. This is
Okay,
what I do.
and then
I've built this baseball team this year. I have predicted both major free agent signings, and now look, now we're in a
major
happier
free
place.
agent signing Taylor Rogers.
I
Major.
but did I call it?
Twins, oh, we go
Yes.
out there. Byron Buxton hits a 3-run home run. Luke Keeschel hits a double in the gap. We go to the ninth inning. We're up 5-1. And then here comes your bullpen guy, Travis Adams.
Yeah. Gotta add a legit back end guy for sure. But I
What
I
about
would
the
have
price
even
for
taken Luis Ariz at DH.
yeah, that'd be
Like
great.
slide him, have a legit leadoff guy in front of Keyshaw and Buxton, and everybody moves down one in
What
the
was
order.
what was it? What did Arias get? How much did he get from the Giants?
12.
That's not not in the budget, unfortunately.
On the budget.
I
Sorry,
will
Joey.
say, what do you guys think? Like, are they just good? Is there anything out there? Like, are they gonna hire a new president of baseball operations, or are they just gonna promote Zoll? And
Well, from what I heard on the shows I've watched, is they started the search right away.
okay,
But
that's good.
Yeah, I've
So,
started the search for $1 million and I still haven't found it yet, too.
I
so
was
I'm
also sorry, I'm gonna add this in quick. Also, Derek Falvey in an interview said that the Twins were in on Mackenzie Gore, but
I've
didn't
heard,
get all the way through to
yeah.
that one. But they weren't going to go through with it,
Yeah.
but they had made phone calls to the Nationals about Mackenzie Gore.
At least they made a phone call.
Hey, like I said, I'm trying to be optimistic here. Phone call's a phone call.
Phone call is a phone call.
So now, do you think like is Derek Shelton in a weird spot now? Because like he'll probably be like a lame duck, one and done, right? Like.
I think it all depends on
Unless it goes well somehow, because like if they bring in a new guy, I mean they're gonna want to, and they should. I think they should rehaul this entire front office. That front office should bring in who they want as their manager, and like I don't know.
I think if Shelton wins, if he sniffs 500, I think he's safe. Because I think what's if they bring in a new guy and the vibes are good and Buck's happy and Royce is happy, I think you kind of have to keep rolling with Shelton. If things go how we probably expect them to go, I think he's a one and done, which sucks, but is what it is.
I was going to say with Royce, if he does bounce back, finds his form, he'll be that 3-hole hitter, not Josh Bell. He would get bumped up,
Yeah,
and that
true.
would look much better.
I don't hate Mike Talkman as a DH option for the Twinkies. Miguel
Yeah.
Andujar, give him 5 mil to hit in the middle of the lineup. Andrew Chafin in the bullpen.
The other problem is how many guys actually want to come to Minnesota. That's the main problem too.
Yeah, how many guys would like to win 60 games and get paid $2 million
It
to do it?
freeze for the first month and a half.
I'll pitch for him for $2 million. I'll do it for one.
I'll do it for league
I'll do it
minimum.
for the league
Yeah.
minimum. I don't know, man. It's bleak. You guys
I
have
don't
anything else in your rant? Because it's dark. It's really dark.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm the optimistic guy. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
Take a flyer on Michael Kopech. I'm just going through
Yeah,
the fan graphs available free
yeah.
agents right now. Like, get Paul Sewald in there. See what he's got at this point in his career. Like,
Those were two guys that the Score North Twin Show mentioned.
they seem like really, really smart people.
Declan is. He's an
Tony
act.
Gonsolin. Bring back old friend Manny Margot. That went
No,
well.
no.
So
That was my favorite Rocco thing ever, I think, was that he continually hit him in 2023 against lefties late in games. And I think he went 0 for 31 in pinch hitting.
23 or 24.
24. Yeah.
Either
Sorry.
way.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he went hitless in 30 some at bats, pinch hitting late in games.
You're
But
telling me
Rocco just
Tommy
kept doing it.
is so You're telling me Tommy Canley wouldn't be a good addition to this bullpen? You're telling me Walker Bueller couldn't get some innings with the Minnesota Twins?
It's-
I'm just looking at the Fangraphs free agent page. You're telling me Jason Hayward couldn't slap some dongs for the Minnesota Twins? Jamer Candelario, come on down here. Like, I don't know, man.
I don't know why they're not jumping on minor league deals. Like you saw
Right?
Hector Neris signed a minor league deal. That would have been an okay
That
thing.
would have been great.
I don't. Hector Neris is terrible for the Cubs.
Yeah, but he could be good for the Twins.
I looked
You
at his
you
stats
never
last year. He
know.
was really bad, but
No, you don't know. You don't know. Do you have any other league news that we need to talk about, or do you just want to make this a sad Minnesota Twins episode?
uh, two friends signed with the Giants, Luis Ariz and Harrison Bader.
Good for Harrison Bader and Luis Ariz.
I watched some highlights of this year, and I miss Harrison Bader so much already. It was so fun.
He was one of my favorite Twins that we've had the
Yeah,
last few years. That is true. Out of all the bad things, there have been some good things. Michael A. Taylor was a good
yeah,
signing that Falvey did. Bader was a good signing that Falvey did. Gio Urshela was a good signing that they had, or a trade.
great. Yeah,
Was it a
great.
trade? Like that was a good move. Like Donaldson was a good move. Like, I mean, it worked out well for the Twins for 2 years. Don't talk to Yankees
Yeah,
fans, but I mean, like there were some good things sprinkled in there. It's just I think they got vastly overshadowed by
Hmm.
the just mountain of shit that we had to deal with.
yeah. You got Pablo
Yeah,
Correa, the Joe Ryan trade. He hit on a few, but
saw
then
that
you
face,
look at
Logan.
like the Escobar trade got him Duran.
Yeah,
I think the Ryan Presley trade got him Jorge Alcala, and he was good for a few years, but
was he
flamed out.
was he good?
Yeah,
He
He's
had
one of my
one good
least
year.
favorite. He's one of my least favorite Twins of all time because he always looked absolutely terrified, and then he would give up a 7 run inning. But Rocco would throw him back out there the next day. Go get him, kiddo. He
I
is
was
on
also
me and my mom's hate list.
I watched the 2023 ALDS um, game 4 winner go home. Joe Ryan pitches 2 innings and he gives up a solo home run to Michael Brantley, and Rocco takes him out
Get
after
out of
that.
there. Yep.
And they cut to right after the commercial break. They cut to Joe Ryan getting the handshake, and he looks up to see who was talking to him. And Rocco's like, "You're done," and he just goes, "Oh," like you can see him say the word "oh," and then shakes his hand. And Rocco says something to him and then he walks away and Joe's just like just nodding like okay, gave me 25 pitches and they end up losing that game.
Rest of the game went so well too.
Yeah.
Yeah. This can be a later podcast episode, but just like new things in baseball that really piss me off is the extremely short leashes of
Yeah.
pitchers. It just the analytics say that this guy doesn't do well against left-handed pitchers in slight humidity. So let's take him out.
I will
What
say
the
there have been to talk about the positive side of that. I've seen like there's some trends that have gone back into baseball. I think Talking Baseball, they had an episode on this the other week where like I think the number one thing is like the base running, like stealing bases is now like valuable again. But I think, but there's also kind of like a switch from the three-tier outcomes. Like I feel like there's more like teams are kind of starting to valuable like or like players are maybe having more of a two-strike approach and like all that kind of stuff. Like I think baseball's kind of getting back into that a little bit. At least like teams are kind of understand the value in that. Like you look like 29 like that range, like you look at Nico Horner and teams would be like, well, he doesn't slug, so that's not good. But I
yeah.
think teams are kind of starting to recognize like, oh, having somebody like that in your lineup is like really important.
But also just having that skill set is so important because what was one of the more important things of the Cubs 2016 run? It was Anthony Rizzo at two strikes, choking up, and then getting an extra 4 or 5
Yep.
pitches in at bat, and then slap a single down the third baseline. Like it's a really important skill set to have, and that's great that you can hit the ball a mile and you look really good in baseball pants, Matt Wallner. But if you're going to swing at every 0-2 slider in the dirt, you're a pretty useless hitter. Learn to put the ball in play and make things happen.
Because if you look at the Blue Jays lineup this year, that's a perfect example. Like you go up and down that lineup, and there was a lot of people that would give you good at bats. And I
Yeah.
think like I mean they hit for power too, but like I think I don't know, some of it that mindset is kind of coming back into baseball, which I like because for a while it was like we need to slug, we're gonna walk, we're gonna strike out, or we're gonna hit a homer, and that was kind of what teams were. That was kind of the philosophy for a while there.
I mean, like you look at the teams that are built well, like what do? They put the ball in play, right? Like the Dodgers don't strike out.
Brewers,
They're pesky. Like they get on base. They grind out at bats. They're annoying, right? Like these teams, like I think the Mets is a good example. We kind of live and die by the big homer ball. The Twins the last few years just have had no approach.
well, the Twins have been behind it. Like we had this discussion a couple episodes ago, but when they've been last in stolen bases for last 2 or 3 years. I mean, I think the second half saved them this year, but the 2 years before that. Uh, but then like they weren't replicating what the Bomba Squad did anyway, so it didn't really it didn't really uh, kind of
Yeah,
mesh together very well.
we can talk about this closer to the beginning of the year, but this team needs an identity. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going
Yeah.
to be that like gritty, grinded out team, or are you going to like are you going to be pitching and it's going to be ugly games? Are you going to try to slug, which you can with the people that you have in your lineup? I mean, you can, but they haven't done it in the last few years, so you got to change something. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think you at some point don't you try to replicate what the Guardians and the Brewers and the Rays when they had those good teams, what they were trying to do. Like we're gonna
I
play
think
good defense. We're gonna be good fundamentally. We might not slug. We might have some guys in the lineup you've never heard of before, but they're gonna produce and they're gonna do. We're gonna put them in positions to succeed. We're gonna platoon and we're gonna do all that kind of stuff and put everybody to give them the best opportunity to do their job. But that's kind of another thing too. But
I, for one, would like to see the Twins replicate the Los Angeles Dodgers and pay players a lot of money.
yeah, but that's not happening. So.
No, it is not. Joey, do you have anything before you give us your random player?
Um, Go Twins. Go Bailey Ober. Rooting for you.
I like Bailey Ober a lot.
Yeah,
Good Instagram follow.
he's like 8 feet tall, just slinging that thing.
Slang. Pause. It's just slang. Oh, update on the cutie patootie list. Um, it is not done, but it is currently being built
Nice.
by my mom, and we had a good discussion over a couple of beers about some twins cutie patooties. So I can say the list is being built, and so far it's a good list.
Nice.
How are you? Is it just like a list of names? Or are you building a lineup, or how? What's the
Ooh,
what's
I could
the
I
going?
could ask her to do a lineup, but I think right now it's starting as a list of names.
Yeah, I think that's a better way to do it.
Lineup,
No,
okay.
I think this could it's like a good list
List of
because
names,
a lineup
okay.
could be tough
Yeah,
because then you might include people you don't want to just because
right. You
of the
have to.
positions. Yeah.
Um, one of the names she didn't mention was Boof Bonzer. I thought that was curious. So we'll have to circle
To
back
be
on that one.
the closer.
That's because he's not a
Joe,
cute patootie. He's just hot.
he's a hottie with a
Yeah.
body.
He's just hot.
Joe Nathan is locked into that closer position forever and always. That is her number one ride or die. Joey, you think you can stump us this time?
Mm, no, I don't think I'll stump you, but I think it might take a little bit.
All right. Well, let's get into it.
Okay. This random player was drafted in the 28th round of the 2015
Oh boy.
MLB draft by the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, so he's a good player then.
Right.
Okay.
Across 5 major league seasons, he had a WAR of 0.0. Just a
Um,
solid guy.
Okay. Real notable player.
In those 5 years, he
Can I ask
played.
wait, can I ask a question real quick?
Okay.
Was he drafted out of high school or out of college? Or do you not want to tell us that?
California State Polytechnic University, Pomona.
Okay.
So if you know your Cal State Polytechnic
Okay.
University, Pomona farmhands, whatever they're called.
You know, I was actually going to do a deep dive into their baseball program this week, but I something came up. So that's next week because they're on my schedule.
Okay.
okay.
Look forward to that. Cal
Yeah.
State Polytechnic University, Pomona stands. He was he went to high school in Chino Hills, same place as the Ball brothers. That's just a fun fact because I love LaMelo and Lonzo.
Do you?
I do.
Interesting. What about the other one, Leangelo?
His song that came out last year is pretty good.
What's that?
Tweaker.
Can
I
you
do
say,
like that one.
can you sing a little bit of it for us?
Uh, maybe if we do like a pod where we all have a few brews, then I will.
Oh, I'm sure that'll happen at some point this year.
Oh, for sure. Anyway,
Anyway,
he played in 158 games across 5 seasons
Oof.
and hit 19 home runs.
baller.
Yeah.
I'm getting like backup catcher vibes right now.
I'm not, but okay.
Career OPS of 715. Career OPS plus of 95.
He's a good player.
Yeah. He he was just a little under league average, like just barely.
I mean, who amongst us isn't just a little below average?
What?
What?
Um, he spent 3 seasons with the Twins, which is where he had a majority of his stat line in those 3 seasons.
Okay.
He came up in 2019 with the Dodgers. Played 30 games, 3 homers, 6 runs batted in, hit 250 with a 321 on base, 842 OPS.
That's a solid player.
I'd say his best season was with the Twins in 2022 at age 30. He played in 66 games, 9 homers, 18 knocked in, 717 OPS.
Wait, in how many games? 60?
66. OPS plus of 102 that year, also.
Hey, do your job, buddy.
Yeah. If I'm remembering right, he was primarily a leadoff hitter for the Twins.
Hey.
Mainly against a certain handedness of pitchers.
Oh, I think I've got a habit here. Why can't I?
Take your time because I don't have a single name in my head. It's been a long couple of days.
He committed just one error in his career.
That's crazy.
Okay, I can picture him.
He was a waiver claim in 2021 from the Atlanta Braves.
Okay, he let off. Oh, Kyle Garlick.
Yep, Kyle Garlick. Awesome name.
Okay, because when you said he let off, like I had him in my mind because
He was the guy. If
yep,
there
he would
was a
lead.
lefty on the mound,
Yep,
he was in the one spot hitting a
yep,
leadoff home run.
he'd lead off against lefties. I just couldn't think of his name.
Okay, I get it. My phone's dying. My thing wouldn't go away. Yeah, Kyle Garlick.
I hate that because he's one of my all-time Twins legends. I was like, let this guy ride or die out there.
Let's see. I didn't know he started with the Dodgers, so
Yep.
that kind of threw me off.
Damn it.
So yeah, so in his full career, he played about a season's worth of games. 19 homers, 41 knocked in, 715 OPS.
Solid.
Yeah,
When was his last season?
23. Played 14 games, hit 179. So,
That's not great.
yeah.
Oh, looks like he played in Mexico last year.
Heck yeah, he did. Spicy white boy down south. We love to see it. Garlic spicy.
Oh, he had a 957 OPS in Mexico
Yeah.
last year.
I think so. After looking at some of the Mexican League stats, I think we could hit like 900
Yeah,
with the Leafs down there.
the ball flies down there.
Well,
Remember when they played that one game in Mexico
Uh
City?
huh.
mhm.
Yeah.
So Kyle Garlick played all of 2024 in Arizona's AAA system. 28 homers, 105 knocked in.
Get him in the bigs.
Never got the call, huh?
I mean, their outfield is pretty stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No room for him.
That's tough.
But still,
You're
32
telling
years
me
old.
like, oh, you're telling me like a fringe playoff team doesn't see that and like let's take a flyer on this dude. Like Like the Braves always need outfielders. They could have shoved him in left field for a minute. Sounds like a Dodger if I've ever heard one. Started there.
Hmm. The
Well,
Dodgers always seem to have one random. I got reminded that they had Steven Souza Jr. starting in the outfield for them in the playoffs a few years ago.
yeah. I
Like
remember. Cubs legend to you. Thank you very much.
saved Jordan Zimmerman's no hitter, Steven Souza Jr.
Who can forget that?
Which, if you've never seen that, look it up because it's one of the best plays in the last 15 years for sure.
Actually, don't go look it up. Joey's going to show it right here. Thanks, Joey.
Yeah, that's extra work for me.
Ah, you're sick. You got time.
You're right.
All right. Anything else before we sign off here, boys?
I don't think so. I'll be
Go Twins.
posting. Yeah, go Twins. I'll be posting our schedule for 30 and 30 coming up, covering all
Yeah.
30 teams. In 30 days, I have a little calendar thing I'm working on. So that'll be up soon.
That'll
And
be
we
super
start,
fun.
I think we're starting that next week-ish. Maybe a little after that.
Yeah. We'll look and see.
Yeah.
Well, we usually sign off with a quote from Joey, but I have a quote for us this week.
Okay.
And I want to see if you can guess who this is from. I'd love to get off payroll for a second. Let's judge success for this year on wins and losses.
Tom Pohlad.
That's friend of the program, Tom Polad. And I'm sure that is going to age really well. And I guess we'll see.
That might rival the right sizing the business comment they made a couple years ago.
I guess we'll see. All right, boys. It's been real. It's been fun. I don't know if it's been real fun.
Go Twins.
Twins.